Hey everyone, I took a recent trip to Europe, and here's how my trip went.
The end of September, I flew from Dayton, Ohio to Atlanta to Amsterdam, and Amsterdam to Milan, Italy.
Hey everyone, I am in Treviglio, Italy. I think I said that right. I am at the Same Deutz Fahr factory here, and we're going to take a look around, look at some tractors and stuff like that. Then we're going to head up to Germany and check out another tractor plant. Here we go.
SDF, otherwise known as Same Deutz Fahr, here in Treviglio, Italy, is where the smaller Deutz tractors, the Same tractors, and so forth are built. I did get a factory tour as soon as I got here. However, there was no video cameras allowed in the factory. But let me tell you, it was a state-of-the-art factory, very nice. And here's just a little bit as you walk in that I was allowed to show in the video here. But anyways, you're going to see a lot of tractors in this video. They did have a museum here in Italy, and I'll take you through that in a little bit. But yeah, feel free, tag along, and you get to see everything I see. I left the United States on a Saturday. Germany and Italy, where I was, is 6 hours ahead of us on time. So when I got over here, it was Sunday morning when I landed at the airport in Amsterdam and then down to Italy. I took a cab up to my hotel room. It was about a 45-minute ride and got kind of rested up. Didn't sleep good on the plane at all. Of course, I was setting up right. How could I? And we did a little sightseeing while we were here around the town and so forth. Monday morning, arrived at the office. And I'm going to take you through the museum here right now. But anyways, at this factory, all the smaller Deutz tractors, Same tractors, it's spelled same, pronounced Same. You're also going to see some tractors branded Hurleyman. I'll have some pictures of them coming up. But this was a pretty neat museum walking through here, getting to see the history of the Same tractors, Deutz, and so forth. And let's check them out. And also the smaller Lamborghini tractors are built here as well. And I'll take a long walk here and show you a bunch of the tractors as they had them lined up as you walk in this museum. Now, it is my understanding that Same was the first tractor manufacturer to actually put a mechanical front-wheel drive or power front axle on a tractor, and they very well may be the first to have a suspended front axle. Look at that. I believe this tractor here was built between 1952 and 1957.
Sì, direi che ci aiuta.
They even built trucks back in the day, known as the Same car. I've seen Same tractors in the U.S. before, so apparently back in the day at some point they had a dealer network or some distributorship here in the U.S. Right now, there's Same branded tractors still built here, run down the same line as the Deutz, Lamborghinis, Hurleymans, and so forth, but they're just sold in certain countries. Now, I will show you some newer Same branded tractors later on in the video here as I walk outside in the shipping area. And as you can see here, there's a lot of history. It looks like at one time they were into a little bit of everything: marine, aviation, and so forth. And in the center of the museum is some later models, some current product, and you're going to see a lot more as we go outside. Now, there's a lot of models of Deutz tractors that are built. Not all of them are available in the United States. So especially when we get out in the shipping area, you may see some model of Deutz tractors that you cannot get here in the U.S., but they are sold in other countries. And there's my couple-minute tour of the museum here at SDF, but I have a lot more videos, so keep on watching.
And while I'm in Italy, I'm going to visit my first ever farm equipment dealer here in Italy. Let's take a look.
I'm told this is a pretty good sized farm equipment dealership for Europe, at least for this area right here. So this dealer here sells Deutz Fahr, JCB, Krone, or as they say in parts of Europe, Krona, stuff like that. And you see a lot of different implements here we don't get to see in the US. But anyways, it was pretty cool to walk around, went inside, and how about that, a Deutz Fahr bale wrapper. So there are Deutz Fahr hay tools available in Europe. I'm told they're made by Kuhn. This dealership had quite the showroom. All these tractors were inside, just off to the side from the parts counter here. So you know inventory is pretty tight right now. You go to a lot of farm equipment dealers in the U.S., there's not a lot of new tractors in inventory and so forth. That's changing a little bit, but these guys had a lot of tractors in stock here. I understand they sell a lot of tractors every year, but just looking around here, you can see all the Deutz Fahr tractors, some JCB stuff and so forth. Then out back, there was some used tractors, stuff they were servicing and so forth. They had a real nice shop as well, working on several tractors. And we're just going to walk back here, and they are servicing a Deutz Fahr round baler that you see here. So that was in the shop as well. Just a lot of different stuff like this Amazon planter. I mean, this is something I don't believe. I don't know if these are available in the U.S. I know some Amazon products are available over here. I don't know if this planter is, but pretty cool to see it anyhow. And you notice too, like a lot of the tractors over here, there's no dual tires on tractors like we're used to. Just a lot of bigger singles and so forth, because they're limited on the width they can take down the road. Now there was a look at the parts counter, some toy tractors there, and a Deutz Fahr toy combine. Hope to get one of those for my collection. Now Deutz Fahr does make combines. They're not available in the US, but they are available in Europe. I'm told they build about 500 a year. Let's take another look at the showroom, but how about those bib overhauls right there? Deutz Fahr. I should have brought a pair of those home with me, but here we go. From the parts counter out into the showroom. Just look at all these tractors inside for you to come in here and look at. Like I said, I'm told this dealer sells a lot of tractors every year. A lot of bigger stuff, or, you know, Deutz builds tractors up to 340 horsepower, the model 9340. And you notice, too, a lot of the tractors over here pretty much all have a front three-point hitch, front PTO, and so forth. So they do push a lot of implements as well as pull them. Back outside here, just taking a peek at the front of the store, some of the different implements. I did see a lot of corn in this area. It looked like a lot of the corn silage was already harvested, though, so I missed out on that. Now, we're going to Germany the next day from here. We're going to be a little farther north, so we'll see what we get into up there. But anyways, I'm just going to walk around the outside of the lot here, just peek at some of the different equipment to show you what's available over here. Also, there's a lot of vineyards in this part of the country, so this yellow machine you see over here is a Greggwire harvester for the grapevines. So this is a pull type. They do make self-propelled ones as well. After leaving the dealership, we ate lunch and we went back to the factory. Now we're going to walk around outside here and show you some of the different tractors. So this tractor right here is a Hurleyman. I understand these are sold in Switzerland, Austria, maybe a couple other countries in that area. But these are built here at the Same Deutz Fahr factory as well. Something I don't know if I've ever seen a Hurleyman tractor in the U.S., but anyways, looks pretty neat, but pretty much the same as the others. So as I walk through the yard here, you're going to see a lot of Deutz Fahrs, obviously. You're going to see some Hurleymans, some Samis, some Lamborghinis, and so on. And I just took some random video of different tractors, different models, different colors, and so forth as we walked around the shipping area here. So I'm just going to share some of those with you as we walk around, like this white Lamborghini tractor right here. Again, these are not available in the United States, branded Lamborghini. Here's some Sami tractors. If you see that one right there, that open station tractor, some of these are non-emission tractors for different countries and so forth. Kind of like that color scheme right there on that Sami tractor. And we'll take another look here. I'm going to walk up and find another open station. But I just think this would be pretty cool to have a tractor like that. Nothing fancy right there. They tell me a lot of these go to South Africa for different applications. And of course, they got some two-wheel drive tractors here. Those are still available. Now, as far as I know, no two-wheel drive Deutz Fahr tractors are available in the United States, but they are available in some countries. Of course, I think that's a non-emission tractor there if you look at the exhaust pipe and so on. Here's another Hurleyman tractor, but like I said, a lot of the tractors over here, most of the tractors do have a front 3-point and PTO for the applications they use over here. And what do you think of that front weight right there? That is 2,000 kilograms, which if my calculations are correct is 4,409 pounds. That's a lot of weight for one weight, but I like the way it fits on the 3-point there, so if you want to drop it off when you don't need it, it's easily done. It's a pretty good looking tractor in black. Not sure why, but I really think I would like to have a white Lamborghini tractor. Monday afternoon, we got done at SDF in Italy. We headed up to Germany. It was about a 6-hour drive up to where the 6-cylinder tractors are built, but we spent the night in Switzerland, had some good food. The lodge we stayed at brought us these meat and cheese trays you see here, and this was a look at where we stayed. Now, we're in the Swiss Alps here. Tourism, because we're kind of in between seasons, there was hardly anybody staying here, but it was a pretty neat hotel, so I can actually say I spent a night in Switzerland on this trip. We had about a 2.5-hour drive up to Germany, and we went through Switzerland, some beautiful farm country here. I'd love to come here and make some farm videos, and they even have blue silos over here. Before we arrived at the factory in Germany, we stopped and had lunch here in town at this little cafe, deli, restaurant. I'm not sure what they call them here. Anyways, everybody spoke German here, no English, so I just pointed to what I thought looked good, and that's what I had.
Hey everyone, I am here in Lauington, Germany at the Deutz Fahr factory. We're going to take a factory tour. We're here for some training, and I'm going to show you some of the stuff.
What I was attending here was the Deutz Power Days, and this was training for the Deutz dealers. This was the English-speaking version that we come to. This was a day-and-a-half event. We come in here. We had stations. We got to test drive tractors, go through the different functions. We had a workshop book and so forth to go through, and we got to test everything out. Then we got a factory tour. And they also have a museum here that I'll go through a little bit later in the video. Here's a sneak peek. We were supposed to run some of this equipment for the Power Days in the field, but it had been raining here, so we missed out on that. But we did get to drive tractors, got to drive them up and down the road and so forth, try out all the different features. It was a really good training event. I really enjoyed my time here. And of course, this museum was awesome, and I'll have some GoPro shots coming up later on. They gave us a workshop book to go by, and we had different stations that we would go to with several different tractors at each station. And we had a list of things we had to go through and try and set and change as we drove each tractor. So it was pretty interesting. Got to learn a lot about these tractors. Really enjoyed it. It was a good event, like I said earlier. And I'm just going to take you around through some of the stations here. We did have some competitive models as well to try out. And what really impressed me, I got to drive this little Orchard Vineyard tractor here, and it was set up with GPS in it and so forth. So just getting familiar with that, and took it for a little spin here. So come along for the ride. They fed us a pretty good meal afterwards, as you can see here. I got to try some German beer. We come back the next morning and had to finish the rest of the stations. It was still raining, so we didn't get to run anything in the field. Did get a lot of road time on the tractors, and I'm going to take you along for the ride and show you some of the other people driving tractors up and down the road and through the parking lot and some of the stations. Take a look at these tires. Now these tires do have air in them, but they're a pretty cushioned tire. They squat a lot, so you can get a lot more tread on the ground. So you see how you're kind of flat down there on the ground, so you got more tread on the ground and so forth. We're going to drive it over a little curve here. You can kind of see how these tires squat and how they work. Here I'm running the tractor in the automatic mode using the accelerator pedal. So as I push down on the accelerator pedal with my foot, I got the transmission set for max speed. So as I push down, I increase my engine RPM, and that brings my CVT transmission up to speed. And as I push all the way down, I'm up to max ground speed as I go down the road here. I drove this tractor down the road pulling the Joskin wagon, and this tractor had the power shift transmission in it here, so I got to take this. Tractor rode really nice, shifted nice, nice power shift transmission here. So Deutz does offer a couple different transmission options in certain models of tractors, from CVT, power shift, and so on. And this Kloss Arion tractor was here for us to drive as a competitive unit, and I don't think these have made it over to North America yet, so I thought I'd take it for a spin, because who knows if I'll ever get to drive one again. And around the roundabout we go. We stopped for lunch, and here is a 5-minute GoPro walk around of the museum here at the factory in Germany. There's definitely a lot of neat stuff in here. It looks like they got room to grow, but it goes through the history of Deutz tractors, Deutz engines. Of course, got the Deutz combine here, the in-track tractor you see over there, and you look at the signs up above. A lot of history. I'm sure I'm going to be back at this factory in the future, so maybe sometime I can just do a video of this, go around all the signage and so forth. But just trying to keep this video short, and I was limited on time here. But yeah, here is a look. One question I do get quite a bit is, does Deutz still use air-cooled engines in their tractors? And the answer is no. Deutz, I believe, has not built an air-cooled engine for over 20 years. One of the big reasons is emissions, because with emissions, you have to be able to control your engine temperature, and on air-cooled, that's hard to do. Like with a liquid-cooled engine, the thermostat and so forth, you can control that temperature. The air-cooled engines served Deutz good for a lot of years. I mean, there was a lot of tractors over here in the United States with air-cooled engines that worked very good. I remember the Gleaner combines had air-cooled engines in them. When I used to work at a dealer, sold Gleaner, you had an option between a Cummins or a Deutz air-cooled, and they worked very well as long as they were clean. Of course, if you got dirt in them and dirt got around a cylinder or something, then you could burn a cylinder up. But other than that, as they were kept clean, they would run for a long time, very fuel-efficient engines and so forth. Of course, we'll look at this Deutz Fahr combine over here. As I said earlier, Deutz builds about 500 combines a year, I'm told, mostly just for the European market. Now, the Deutz 6-cylinder tractors are built at the factory I'm at right now. So on the side of the road here, I'm at the Deutz Fahr Arena. Behind me is the older factory. They assemble the cabs there, and the newer factory is across the street. Now, I did get a factory tour. I was able to get a little bit of video inside the factory of the final runoff and so forth, but I was very limited. That video will be coming up later on. So this is quite a long video, but I just wanted to put my whole trip in one video to show everybody everything I got to see. Now, it's a shame it rained. Otherwise, the tractors we ran at the Power Drive event, we would have got to run some of those in the field doing tillage and so forth, but things don't always work out the way you planned. Another thing Deutz used to make is a Deutz oil-cooled engine. When I was a Gale rep, Gale used to use Deutz oil-cooled engines in some of the skid loaders, and the oil-cooled engine was just like a water-cooled engine, except the same engine oil that you use to lubricate the engine on the bottom also ran through the cylinder walls around the pistons and cooled the cylinders that way. They worked pretty good, had a lot of good years with those. Them engines had a lot of torque and were very fuel efficient as well. Depending on the model of the Gale skid loader, some of them used the 3-cylinder oil-cooled and some of them used the 4-cylinder oil-cooled, naturally aspirated and turbocharged. I've been to Europe probably 10 times in my life, all different places. Been to Germany several times, Italy once before, Switzerland, Austria, the UK. I did have a couple connecting flights in Amsterdam and in Paris, France. Never got off the plane there. That was just a connection. But anyways, it's pretty neat to come to these other countries, see how things are different. Different food, different culture. However, I have found most people in these foreign countries here in Europe especially do speak English, so it's pretty easy to communicate wherever you go. So that's not too bad because I speak no German or any other languages other than English. I was here the very last week of September. There was a lot of Oktoberfest going on in Germany and so forth. I've been to one before when I was over here back in 2004, and I didn't have time or didn't really want to go to one this trip. Pretty much just work, go to the hotel, sleep. Wanted to get rested up to get back home because it was harvest time. Wanted to be able to help farm when I got there. I like coming over here to Europe. It's just that 8 or 9 hour plane ride that I dread. You leave the United States like in the afternoon, and then with them being 6 hours ahead, you fly over here, you get over here in the morning. I don't sleep very good on a plane. Of course, I'm flying coach, so you don't have a lot of room either. Can't lay the seat back much, but that's the only part about coming over here that I really dread. But other than that, it's pretty neat to visit, and so on. And of course, the 6 hour time change makes it a little bit difficult to call home, keep in touch with what's going on, but somehow, with my wife working during the day, being 6 hours ahead here, I still manage to talk to her for a little bit, at least every other day. It doesn't always work out, just depending how meetings go and stuff like that. But anyways, hey, that's pretty much the tour of the museum. I hope everyone enjoyed that part. Now we're going to go back outside and drive some more tractors. Then we're going to take a factory tour. Now we will go take the Deutz Fahr factory tour. So on one side of the street is the Deutz Fahr Museum and the training center where we were, as well as the old factory where they assemble the cabs and so forth. Now over here, across the road, is where all the 6-cylinder tractors are built, and this is a very new and modern facility. I'm told it's the most advanced tractor assembly line in the world. Now, I was not able to film everything here, but I'm going to take you through what I can show you. This is the very end of the line here where the tractor's built, and it drives into the test room over there. We were in here with guides, but it was when the assembly line was not running. But anyways, this is what I'm allowed to show you. I was not allowed to video anything where they assembled the main components or the frame of the tractor, engine, and so forth. Was able to start here, and I'm just going to walk right on down the line. But when you get to the end here, you'll see all these tractors are on a conveyor, and that conveyor will go back under and go clear back and start over, pick up another tractor, and they will just follow down the line. So I'm going to walk down the line on this side to the final stop, and then I'm going to jump over on the other side and do the same. Just take a few snaps here in between and show you what's going on. You can see some of the progress as the tractors are built. Down here at one of the final stops where the tires are put on, you can see how the wheel packages come in and how them are hung, and then you'll see the end of the assembly line here where the conveyor will go down, the tractor will drive off the line, it'll drive straight ahead through those glass doors where they have like a wheel dyno there. I'll show some video or pictures of that later on. That was not running either, but right there, that is the end of the line, and that'll rotate back to the start, pick the next tractor up, and on it will go. So now I'm going to go back and I'm going to walk down the other side of the assembly line and show you what I just showed you, but on the other side. Here we go. And here I am coming to the end of the assembly line again, just from the other side. Get another look at the tires for the right side of the tractor that they'll put on, and then the conveyor drops down and rotates back to the start of the line to pick up the next tractor to be built. There's another look at that. So once the tractor has the wheels on, they can drive it off the assembly line from this point. They drive it into this room onto these rollers. Now I'm told they can drive this tractor at full speed on these rollers. They can even load it up, do some testing here, work the tractor, test it all out without actually driving it outside and so forth. Put it through a pretty rigorous test here. Of course, this was not running today. Hopefully one day when I'm back here, I'll get to see it in action and maybe they'll let me video it. So there's 2 stations here, and then it'll go out those glass doors, the tractor will, and it goes into a final inspection area where they will completely go through a quality check, make sure there's no leaks, stuff like that, correct any issues they have right out in here. After it goes through here and everything is good, then they drive the tractors outside where they are ready to be shipped. We will now take a walk outside after the tractors have passed their final inspection, went through quality, everything's good, they are ready to ship. So you're going to see a couple different tractors out here, different colors and so forth, mostly the Deutz Fahr green. You did see that metallic green. There's a few Lamborghinis out here. I'm told there's really no difference between a Deutz Fahr tractor and a Lamborghini other than the paint and the labeling. I don't know. They say you can't get these in the US, but it would sure be neat to have one of these. Just to have a tractor that says Lamborghini for what it's worth. I have no desire to have a Lamborghini car, but I sure would like to have a tractor. You can see there's quite a few tractors out here that are ready to be shipped all over the world. Let's take a little close-up look at these tires on this tractor. I actually did see a tractor this summer at a dairy farm in the United States that had this style tire on it for mowing alfalfa. It had a set of triple mowers on it. So something different, but pretty neat. The cabs are assembled across the street at the old factory, and once they are complete, they are loaded up into a wagon like this and shipped over here to be put on a tractor across the road, using a Deutz Fahr tractor, of course, to pull it. And I thought I'd show you a European truck or semi while we're here. So I'm not sure if these are going to the port or what the story is, but you can see there's one green and a couple of another brand right there. And here's some bonus footage when we was in town getting lunch. And on Friday morning, I flew home from Munich, Germany to Detroit, Michigan to Dayton, Ohio. Everything went good. It was on time. It was about a 9.5-hour flight. Anyways, that's going to wrap up this video. If you did like this video, please go down there and hit that like button, and feel free to comment below. If you're new to my YouTube channel, please go down there and hit that subscribe button and check back often. I have a ton of new farming content to get edited from this fall, different harvest videos and so forth, and get up here on my YouTube channel. Anyways, like I said, that's going to do it. Thank you for watching and supporting my social media.